Well, hello there, internet friend, and welcome back to the channel. So, in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of Thrill of the Fight, which is a VR boxing game that I'm currently using on Meta Quest 2. As for the breakdown of this video, I'm going to be covering my use cases for Thrill of the Fight on Oculus Quest 2 or Meta Quest 2. Still not sure what we should be calling it. I'll be covering what I do like about the app, what I don't like about the app. I'm also going to show you a demo, so we're literally going to get into the app and actually have a boxing match here on this video. And then after that, I'm going to give my 2 cents on whether or not I'd recommend this app for another user. Okay, so let's get into it. So if you've never heard of Thrill of the Fight before, it is pretty much just a VR boxing game that's available on MetaQuest 2, and I'm pretty sure it's available on other VR platforms. I'm not sure. MetaQuest 2 or Oculus Quest 2 is the only VR platform that I'm currently using, and Thrill of the Fight is on there. There's 2 main use cases that I have for it. One is quick workouts that actually make me work up a sweat. Yes, that's right. This thing can actually tire you out. When I first looked at it, I kind of went, how realistic can that really be? And as soon as I actually got into it, between the vibration in the handles when you actually land a punch on someone and the immersive experience of the goggles feeling like you're actually in a boxing match, it's no surprise that I come out of it sometimes dripping with sweat and panting like a freaking dog. It's crazy. It really gives me a good workout. Boxing is great cardio. The first time I ever did this and went really hard in the game, my shoulders and my arms were killing me. And by the end of it, I was like, I just wanted to roll over and die. It was that good. And the cool thing about it as well is you can really get into the action, get amongst it, whilst you're in the comfort of your own home. And I can just spend about 15 minutes boxing the shit out of this make-believe character, and I actually feel like I've gotten some value out of it. So if you're somebody that wants to improve your exercise and you might not be the most confident at the gym, or you don't really like going in public to exercise, having an app like this is something really, really good specifically for that. The other use case that I have for this app as well is just for little breaks during work. So I mentioned this in my Trip review, which I'll leave up in the cards. Trip is a meditation app in VR, and what I do for work is I'm a software administrator, so I work with software all day long. I look at spreadsheets all day long. I look at data all day long, and I sit on my bum all day long. Doing those actions continuously over and over and over again can make me a little bit agitated and a little bit frustrated just sitting in one spot all the time. So building upon point number 1 of actually getting a real workout out of this, by taking a quick 15-minute break to have a little boxing match and actually get my blood pumping is a really, really good pattern break from work to get me out of that seat, get me moving, get my blood pumping, get me refreshed and revived so I can then go back and be really focused when I get back onto my job. Bloody brilliant. After using things like this, I'm really seeing why the metaverse could really take off in the future, because what it's allowing us to do is take experiences that we usually would only be able to experience if we went out and did them, and it brings it into the home environment where everyone can have a go of it and simulate something that feels very realistic to the actual experience. So yeah. Alright, so now I think it's time to move on to things that I particularly like about this app. So the first thing that I listed down was the pricing. So the price of this app, I think in US dollars, it's $9.95, which converts in Australia here to about $14.50. Now, for me personally, and what I just explained about my use cases, this is a really good price for something that I can use over and over and over and over again. For the amount of times that I've used this thing to refresh me and get me revitalized back into work has been worth way more to me than $14.50. And I think most people can agree, when you find something for a low price that actually gives you a really big dose of value in the actual use case scenario, it's like a win-win scenario. I think they are bringing out a Thrill of the Fight 2. So Thrill of the Fight 2 is obviously going to be an upgrade to the one that they've got now. There's going to be different features, but unlike Trip, Trip was the meditation app that I bought. I paid a lifetime subscription with Trip, so I think I paid about $60 up front. And what that allows me to do is get the updates that they make to the app forever into the future. With this, it's kind of like I'm paying for the version that I'm using right now. When they bring out a new version, I'm gonna have to pay for it again. So there is pros and cons to both. However, when I weigh up the use cases of this right now and how it actually makes me feel compared to the price that I paid for it, I am there, I'm ready to give them my money for the Thrill of the Fight 2, because I think it's going to be bloody good just based on what I've already experienced with the first version. The other thing I like about it as well is it's very easy to use. It's straightforward. The menus aren't too difficult. I will show you a little bit about the menus in the demo later on in this video, but yeah, my overall user experience with all the menus and understanding everything was very simple and easy, so I liked that. I also really liked how realistic it feels. So when you're in the app and you're actually throwing a punch at the other player, or the AI, if you like, the controllers vibrate and they give you like a realistic sense of actually what it would be like hitting someone. It's not like full force, like poof, because obviously how can they do that when you're the one actually controlling the thing? But the vibrations in the handles, along with the immersive visuals, really help give it a realistic feeling. And I think that just adds to the overall experience and makes it better for the user. And the last thing that I thought was worth mentioning in terms of things that I liked about this app was the different levels that you can select for the fights. So as you go through the game, each fighter that you unlock is a little bit harder than the previous one, but with each fighter as well, you have a menu that allows you to select the difficulty of that fighter. So you've got like easy, medium, hard, you've got endurance, and then you've also got this other level that I haven't even unlocked yet, which I think is superstar or something like that. We'll see it in the demo. But yeah, the thing I found really cool about that was some days I have more energy than others, which means I might get in to do my boxing match and I go, oh, I really don't have a lot of gas in the tank, so I might go easy today. And it allows me to like still have my fight, feel like I'm getting a physical workout in, but I can do it on a level that matches my energy on that day. So that level of customization was really, really good as a user, and I liked it. As for things that I don't like about this app, I personally find it a little bit hard to poke holes in things that I do enjoy, because I do enjoy this app, but if I were to like look for things that I thought could be better, I think the amount of fighters that you can go through would be better. So I noticed, like, as I was going through the levels, I was like, oh cool, I beat that one, who's the next fighter? And I think it gets to about 8 or 9 of them and then it stops. So you get to the last fighter and then you realize that after you beat him, there's no more fighters after that, and you kind of have to go back through each fighter and go through every level, which I guess I still haven't even gotten that far in the game. However, I think as a human being, we always like, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? And when it got to that last fighter, I was like, oh, there's no more fighters. So hopefully that's something that they fix in Thrill of the Fight 2, but it is one thing that I noticed could be a little bit more extensive in this first version. And yeah, if I were to complain about anything, that would be one of them. Another thing that I don't really like about this game is there's a little section where you can go to like a novelty fighter section, and it's kind of like decked out like Christmas or Halloween. Like they've got themes for these fighters and they're in a separate menu. I think it's called special or something like that. But yeah, you go into these different scenarios and there's a different theme. And the one that I went into was this guy with a pumpkin head, okay? And I went, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna fight Mr. Pumpkinhead. What I didn't like about that fight was as soon as I punched Mr. Pumpkinhead, his pumpkin face smashed to pieces, so he had no head left. And then after that, landing a hit on him was incredibly difficult. Like I'm talking about, I couldn't punch his stomach. There was nowhere on his face to hit. Like, I was like, how the hell do you beat this guy? I actually got a little bit frustrated with it in the end because I was like, well, I'm here to have the workout, but where's the end? I need to know that an end is coming, and I couldn't really see that. And then on top of not seeing where the end comes because I couldn't bloody hit the guy, exiting from the menu seemed to be a really difficult task. So after I went through that one fight in the special section, I went, I am not going back here and I'm just going to stick to the main menu. Perhaps in Thrill of the Fight 2, they can flesh that out a little bit and make it a little bit better. But yeah, I just thought the special menu was weird and I'm not going back there. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's my likes and dislikes about the Thrill of the Fight Oculus Quest 2 app at the moment. I will be trying Thrill of the Fight 2 when it does get released. And until then, I'll just keep using this one. I do now think it's time to get into the demo section of this video. So we're gonna flick over to my living room where I go and have all of these at-home amazing fights. I'll show you inside the app, I'll show you a boxing match, and then we'll get back and I'll talk to you about whether or not I'd recommend this app or not. Enjoy! Alright, so here we are in the Thrill of the Fight interface. The first thing you'll see when you get in here is this big dark room with cameras flashing, and you'll notice that you're in a red box and there's a scale here. Now obviously the scale isn't going to measure your real weight, because as if it could. I think what the purpose of this thing is to get your height, so that when you're in fight with a character, it's as real life as possible, or your height is in accordance with the height of the actual player. So let's jump on the scales, look at the camera, shablam. So now it's got our height. We're going to be opened up into the training area. So here we go. When we first get in here, we've got coach over here. I don't really talk to him all that much. Sometimes you can practice on punching him. But here is the main menu. Over to the right on the configuration settings, you can go through that in your own time, and all of the general stuff. They've just got, general information about the game, etc. But just for this demo, we're not going to go through all of that stuff because it's quite boring. I'm just going to show you the main things in the menu here. We've got a few things. We've got the fight area, we've got the practicing as well, we've got speed bag, dummy, heavy bag, focus ball, and then there's also extras. In the extras, there's all these weird ass people that you can fight. Like this one, when you go and verse him, the guy you're fighting has a pumpkin head, and he's really hard to punch actually. I'm not a fan of those extras. With the focus ball, it's pretty much just like it takes you to a different part of the gym. See, we're now in here and bloody coach is still there. So we can practice on the focus ball, which is cool, it's interactive. You've got the heavy bag. And the vibration on the actual controllers changes based on which thing you're using. Dummy. So the dummy's here. I can practice. Pretty sure the idea is to try and get these to go yellow. There you go, I got one yellow. And then we've got the speed bag. I don't like this thing at all. And it'll give you it'll give you your averages of how quickly you're hitting it. It's pretty cool. So there are the things you can do, but what we're going to be exploring here is the fight section. So if we go into the fight section, it brings up this menu and you can choose your opponent. So the thing with this fighting section is you have to work your way through each fighter, and when you beat one, the next one unlocks. So to begin with, you'll just have the sparring partner, and I'm pretty sure Melky, or Alex Petrov, whatever his name is. And then as you beat him, you'll unlock all the other guys. I've unlocked all the other guys, and the buck stops at Moneymaker. So he's the world champion, and pretty much once you get to him, all you need to do is go through the difficulty levels, which I didn't actually explain the difficulty levels. Here you've got a custom, so you can set your own difficulty if you like, or you can go with the games, which is easy, normal, endurance, and then I'm pretty sure once you smash all of these out of the park, Outclassed becomes available, but I'm clearly not at Outcast level, so. But yeah, alright, let's go, and today we're gonna fight Hojo, okay, and we're gonna do that on endurance, and let's start the match. Ooh. Alright. Step back and keep going. Protect yourself at all times, and what I say, you must obey. Good luck to both of you. God! Die! Oh my god. Okay, round 2. Let's just go there, Yeah! Finally, fuck. Get down, bitch. Woo! Oh. Come back for more.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the match ending in the second round, your winner by technical knockout,
The red corner,
Yeah, look at Coach over there. Thank you very much. Oh, and there you go. So, that is how you do one of those fights. It's pretty much endless. I do pretty well on the endurance one now. But yeah, it's just a matter of playing all of the levels. And you really, really do work up a fucking sweat. I'm so puffed after that now. Yeah, alright, cool. Let's go back to... Oh shit. Okay, cool. Let's go back to normal life now. I'm gonna exit out of here. No. Okay, let's go back to normal life now. I'm going to quit the game. And that's the end of that. So yeah, that's how you do a fight in Thrill of the Fight. I wasn't sweating as much as I have done before. Like, I've been dripping before. Like, so sweaty that the goggles fogged up because my face was sweating so much. Like, it's a bloody good app. And coming to the end of this video, so the last section is, would I recommend this app? I think by now you can tell after the demo and all of my raving in the previous sections, yes, I would recommend this. For the pricing, the immersiveness, the amount of help it's giving me at work at the moment is crazy. And it's apps like this that are really showing me what the metaverse is going to be about. I think as more companies figure out, hey, we could do a VR version of that. Just like the internet, the more and more use cases that come out for it, the more and more popular it's gonna be, the more mainstream it's gonna be, and the more people we're gonna see in their living rooms having boxing matches. And I am here for it. I am literally here for it. So yeah, would 100% recommend it. These guys have done so well with the app. I am definitely waiting for version 2. And yeah, that's my 2 cents on Thrill of the Fight. For Oculus Quest 2 or MetaQuest 2, please leave me a comment. What are you calling it? Are you calling it MetaQuest 2 or Oculus Quest 2? I don't know what I'm supposed to call it right now. So tell me what I should call it. Anyway, so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope this review was able to help influence your buying decision. I really would recommend getting this app if you've already got a Quest 2 and testing it out. In terms of VR, when I'm posting this right now, it's August, and I think in September, Meta is actually going to announce their new Project Cambria and the actual new headset, which I'm definitely going to be getting. Like, let's be real. I am VR all the way. Like, give me the metaverse now. But yeah, if you've got a MetaQuest 2 and you've been contemplating getting this app, just get it. You won't be disappointed. And even if they do bring out things that are 10 times better than it, this version alone is great. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up if you got value from it. Hit subscribe if you want more VR and metaverse content from me. I've got a whole playlist now of MetaQuest content. So if you're on board with the whole Quest 2 metaverse thing, subscribe to my channel and we can stay up to date together. Okay, I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.